Okay, so as he said, I'm Pablo Rego, and I'm gonna I'm gonna show you a prototype of an app that I was conceptualizing along Ironhack. So I really need advice and some questions, some technical questions that you see that I don't really know how to face. Um, so I'm gonna start. Okay. Uh, these are Carlos, Izaskun, and myself. Again, 7 years ago, of course. We met 7 years ago while we were doing an Erasmus exchange, and we became so good friends, best friends forever, blah, blah, blah. We were so good friends that when we ended the Erasmus, we said that each year we were gonna meet again in some part of Europe to see each other again, as we live in different parts of Europe. Okay, so according to this, we should have met 7 times for now. But guess how many times did we really met? 0 times. This is extremely embarrassing. This is like, I don't even know if they are my friends right now. It's like, it's very bad. So I was thinking all the time that maybe it's because I'm a disaster, I'm a mess. Look at my hair, how it's like always, I'm not gonna end up the yoke. So fortunately for my ego, I discovered that this was a problem that almost everyone has. So I started conducting a lot of interviews with users, and and I discovered that happened all the time. And the main thing users said that was problematic when organizing trip groups was when planning a trip, we never agree. Okay? So this was the main problem, but I wanted to deepen a little bit in that. So what is the things we don't agree on when tripping or with traveling? Basically 3, as users said in the interviews. One is the dates, when you are going to the place. The other one is the money you want to spend. And the other is the place to go. So after that, I said, okay, we have these 3 main problems, but is there one more important than the other? So I conducted some surveys to a lot of people, asking for you, which of these problems is major when planning a trip? And the result is quite, I didn't expect that. It's like a huge majority said that the main problem is to put in their schedules together, and only 21% about the price and 12% about the place. That was for me a huge discovery. But there was something that I discovered that was even more important than that for me. And it was that nobody was trying to fix that. I was doing some competitive analysis that in the questions we can discuss. But no one is paying attention to this problem about schedulings. Most of them focus on prices or in surprise travels or whatever, but nobody fixes this problem. So this is why I created Geego. Okay, this is like a traveling app that makes you really travel. It's like a slogan that I just made up. and if I had to summarize what does it do, it's like three basic things or 3 steps. First, each member on the trip selects the days in which they could travel, the money they want to spend, and from where they will depart. We compare all the data, and we deliver trip propositions that fit everyone. So now I'm gonna show you an example. So do you remember the first girl I showed you she's called Izaskun? So let's imagine that Izaskun just received an invitation from me, like a trip project invitation by WhatsApp. She downloads the app, and this is what's going to happen, okay? As long as just by entering and doing a basic signing up, just with giving us permissions to access to her location data, just with this, we can start deliver some first and basic offers. That's because we use the national and regional data holidays of the places where these people live. It's a very basic proposition, but it's something to start, okay? Remember that she only signed it up. Of course, if you set your preferences, it's much better. Here you have like basic filters. Oh, shit. Sorry. You're going to see now some basic filters, which is you can add or quit the days when you're available. You can set up how much money do you want to spend. That is going to happen now. And you can change your departure place. You have other options, like you can propose your own house as a place to. So it's cheaper, the accommodation. You can banish places, or you can even share the expenses with your colleagues, because maybe the offer is really close to another, to one and to whatever. I think it's understandable. So once you enter the parameters, you receive new offers. And now when you see the prices, like you see that you can share expenses with your colleagues, and you can propose this offer to your colleagues. And if when proposing, the rest of your colleagues propose the same, we generate a match. Bam. So now when a match is done, you can pay. Now you can pay, and we wanted to do something here that we think it's really interesting, and it's the possibility to pay one by one. I think I know this is a bit difficult, but I think when you organize a trip, maybe imagine you're 5 people and you're going to Milan, you're maybe spending like thousands of euros. Maybe one person could pay for everyone, but maybe they don't even have this money in the account. So okay, if we want to pay person by person, there is a main problem we have here. If I do my payment now, and my friend does the payment at 6 in the afternoon, the prices are not the same. So how can we manage that? So this is a good point to speak a little bit about the business model, where I have a lot of questions, but I have like some sort of intuitions. My aim is that in the future, long term, we base our business model in partnership with the main providers in traveling, accommodation, blah blah blah. Because in that way, all the money that comes from to us comes from the commission we cobrar. We charge them, not to the users. But as this is not really easy, or you need a very big commercial department, so you manage all the partnerships. We wanted to be able to do this, like paying part by part, even if we didn't have this partnership, and that is using the data they have in their web pages, the providers. I heard something about a tool called Selenium that could extract the data in real time. Someone from web is saying yes. So, so this is a tool we could use to have like a real time refreshing of the prices. And of course, if we don't have partnership, we will have to be the ones that freeze the money, so it lasts like 24 hours or 48 hours, so the whole group can travel at the same price. And I don't know if I'm running out of time, but saying that I never know how to end presentations. Thank you very much.
So as a pitcher, first of all, nice pitch. I love the storytelling, and you have that humanistic touch as a pitcher, so it's okay, kind of good. I love the product. One advice I should give you making this presentation, mainly if you are presenting to a board of investors, you shouldn't say that you don't have competitors, because what they are going to think in their mind is that this is a non-validated model. So it's a bit risky to validate with my money your model. So you maybe have to focus on the thing that it looks very, very similar to your product and that has a success story behind. I would go to search like a business model abroad or anywhere that has a successful model behind, and it's a kind of approach to yours. But saying that you don't have a competitor, it's a bit risky for like an investor's board. But kind of congratulations for everything.
Same here, Pablo. Congratulations for your pitch and for the idea. What we've been finding out is that you guys really are building something that you are suffering. So it's great because you are building on top of something that you lived in the past. It's like you've had that pain in the past. I like the way you also transmit your storytelling. And I have a couple of questions. It's related to, because this business model is B2C, business to client. You use your users to buy the trips, but it's also business to business. If you don't close partnerships, it's a little bit difficult, no? You can do like Selenium scrapping, web scrapping, taking data, things like that, but sometimes it's a little bit complex because if they change the structure, all is gone. So have you thought to contact some providers for the trips, for the MVP? So let's say you can connect to the data, have the first travels or trips. Which ones? Have you made research or not yet?
I'm not sure if I understood the question, but was it like if I thought about doing an MVP with a minimum quantity of providers to do partnership with them? Like,
yeah,
kind of.
If you want, I can say in Spanish or say it in English. It's all right. For the MVP, for the first product you're going to launch, have you checked partnerships that provide trips and API for this, or you just haven't?
MPI?
API. Para conectarte a la
API?
No,
I didn't contact directly any possible partner.
Okay. No, because sometimes it's a little bit difficult with them, but the whole idea is great. And if you want, is what you said, we can check afterwards, because we have some Endemium. There's been some projects based on trips, and we can give you some ideas as well if you want.
Cool.
But great product.
Cool.
So again, thanks for like this pitch. I really like that you would be your first customer, you and your friends. I would say that you've identified the key problem, which is finding the dates.
What?
Like the key problem that you found is the dates, right? Like when it's the best time for like the group to travel. So I would say focus on that. For an MVP, forget about payments. I think you're like going ahead, like and adding complexity. and like I would say focus on solving that first issue first. You can start by suggesting a place and a time, and then you add more complexity with payments and whatnot. Or another suggestion is, I'm not a big fan of scraping, because like he mentioned, if the website changes the structure, which they do very often.
What?
I'm not a big fan of scraping. So there are plenty of trip providers that have open and public APIs. So that's much more scalable.
Okay.
So I would shift my focus onto that. Choose one, see how it works.
But this suggestion about picking this open information from the API of some providers, are there enough providers with this so we can do
You only need one to start, right? You don't need a lot of them. So find what is significant enough, and maybe there are already aggregators like Kayak or all that this mentioned that will open access to all the other information that you need. So to validate this, you don't need that many. So I would like start small and big on top of that.
Cool.
Focus on the problem that you identified, which is the time.
Cool.
Well, congratulations, because Geego, I need Geego too, or my friends, and I think a lot of people. When you want to travel with your friends, normally you use a WhatsApp group or something like this. And it's true that it's very, very difficult to try to find what is the best date to travel with them. I think this is useful tool and turns a tricky task into a simple one. I check when I see the application. I think they have you give a very good user experience. I don't know if you did some user test, but I'm sure that it could be a good thing that you have to do. Okay. My advice is go on because this is very good product. I only have a question about if you want to rent an Airbnb apartment. Which one is the person that rent? Is through application? Is through one of the friends?
What?
If you want to rent an apartment, is through the application?
What we want that to be is that when you receive an offer, it's a combination of the traveling, like plane, train, blah blah blah, and accommodations. And we would like to have Airbnb too, but of course, in your settings, you could select that you only want travel offers, and then I gonna look it up for myself, something like that.
Okay, thank
That's
you.
what we want.
So one more suggestion that I just remembered, when you're explaining the problem and the interviews and the research that you did, just throw some numbers behind, show how many users you interviewed, the breakdown, etc. Because if not, it's very arbitrary. So it's good to know, like.
To show it.
No, well, not now, like during the presentation, right? So you mentioned that you did user research and surveys. How many people you contacted, etc.
How many? I don't have it here, but I don't remember if they were like in surveys numbers, like 100 people, maybe less. I am not sure now. I knew that I had to put it.
That's okay.
But and interviews where I took insights more than data. I did quite a bit before creating it and after creating it. So I had to change a lot of things because of that.
Cool.
Yeah, just on top of that, if you with your Medium article you wrote, you have everything there. If you add that to your slides and you also talk about how much money you're asking for, it's great because you have all the information in your pitch. So you just reinforce it.
Cool.
Thank you.